Alright guys, been a while. Thought I'd give you an update here. My videos are intermittent and my work schedule is intermittent. What we've got going on here is we've got my truck in the garage, and just the other day I had all this stuff packed tight and had the Baja in here. It's winter time, 2023, and I'd like to have my vehicles in the garage this winter if possible. But I have a problem. I have a plugged up transmission shop here. I've got 18 transmissions in here. 1, 2, 3 swing axles, and they take up a lot of room. There's 3. Here's 4. There's part of 1. 5. Underneath this table. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come around the corner here. Underneath that bench, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think there's a couple more in pieces. Somehow I came up with 18 the other day when I was counting them. So I thought, I've lost track over the years of, and I lost my storage unit. So I ended up having to bring all this stuff home, and I've been plugged up here. So I thought, you know what? I need some sort of a simple vehicle that I can put these into and find out what's what. I need to test them and or take them apart. I have a nice little engine, a little single port, single carb engine that I can put on it. I just need to get this thing up off the ground. This torsion assembly was out of a car that I had, my first street legal tub buggy, and it of course has the IRS trailing arms. I've got those. Some of these transmissions are IRS type trannies. So we're going to get into these, and I'm gonna try to explain what I find as I go. Hopefully it'll be helpful. It's not going to be in any particular order. There's not any particular rush or time frame that I'm looking at here. I've got to do a lot of cleaning up. I'd like to. Let me rephrase that. I have my sand car over here in the trailer, and it's an old heavy duty. It's more of a woods buggy. It's more the kind of buggies I've been watching on YouTube where the guys are in Michigan and Tennessee and Arkansas and some of those places, and they're going on the old mining roads and up in the hills and going up trees, slopes and stuff like that. Not just out in the sands. There's a few sand dunes that that one up in Michigan along the coast up there. It's kind of fun to watch those guys up there, Miller and Wild J and all their friends, and I get a kick out of that. I'd like to go up there sometime, but I just want to, as I've said many times before, I want to go through my stuff and I want to downsize. I'm getting I'm well into my 70s now. I've only got a limited amount of physical time, and I've got old tools. I've got, this was an idea that I had. I was going to make an ultralight buggy. These are like mid-engine trailing arms here, and these are shock absorbers off my old Harley Davidson. I was going to try to, you know, make something out of that, and I still might. I've got enough tube, and I've got a bender here to bend up my tube frame. I've had this in the ceiling 20 years. That's how long this has been on my mind in the back burner. But I've always had other cars and other distractions, and I think it's just time. I've really gone through a change here. Had heart surgery earlier this year, sorry, and it changes your perspective on things. I have my good days and my bad days, and I'm just I feel like I'm getting dementia, and things I used to do all the time I have to look up in the book, and where I set things down, and everybody, that's just natural part of aging. But I've got a lot of stuff, and I've just got to go through it, and I don't have to do anything. This torsion assembly has been in and out of the dumpster more than once, let me tell you. And every time I went back and pulled it out, and I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll make that another car for a friend or family member or something along that line, because I lost all my friends that were into Volkswagen stuff, and the ones that are still out there doing it have gone to the side-by-sides and like those Polaris Razors and stuff. And I don't know, if it was street legal, I'd consider, but in Colorado it's not that easy. Here's almost all my cars I converted to disc brakes, and here's an example of a couple of brake drums. Both of these look like this one right here. Had it in a 5-gallon bucket. Somehow water got in there. I'm gonna try to save them. I cleaned up. I spent some time with a wire wheel here, and I was gonna take this torsion assembly off the table and start laying out my design, my pattern. My good friend who I sold my car to was kind enough, he still has it, doesn't want to really sell it back. We can't agree on price, let's put it that way. And he's older than I am. So he gave me the dimensions on it. And with that and a couple ideas and improvements and upgrades, you know, I got the seats. I've got the pedal assemblies. There's another one right there. I've got suspension components. There's a link pin front end right there on the floor in front of that transmission. I've got 2 ball joint front ends. One of these is supposed to go in my Baja, but I've been driving it for years the way it is, and it was in my neighbor's storage shed in his backyard. He didn't seem to mind, but they sold the house and I had to get all this stuff out of there. And you know, it's one of those, when you start procrastinating, you know, it seems like it takes something. You either have a fun thing to motivate you, or there's some sort of a timetable that's beyond your control, and you have to act. And I've decided that it's time. I want to get my vehicles in the garage. I want to, my tools are wearing out. All of my tools, hint, hint. And here's some different tie rods. Here's some bigger torsion bars. Here's a shift shaft. I've got the car. I just showed you the car. There's the seats over there. All I got to do is put it together. And here's a shift box. Oops, there goes a shift bushing. Here's a, what was this? I've been going through boxes and stuff. Here's for a steering shaft, a bearing that holds your steering shaft. Here's a brand new gas pedal. Now a lot of this stuff, you know, it were things that I upgraded. It was things that I got for spares. I built another complete car exactly like that one, but I had the car in the garage so I could take measurements off of it, and it was a little different setup, and it was a long time ago. I was just looking these front beam clamps up online, and I think I saw them at Apple Tree. I don't. Sometimes you see them and they don't have them, and that's all suppliers, you know. But they were like $6.99 each, I think. Don't quote me on that, but they were in that neighborhood, and it's really hard to make something like that quickly, and and repeat the pattern so that they're the same over and over. And I had an old catalog from this A&A Performance up in Michigan, and the price sheet was there, and they happen to have these clips. These are now $6.99 each, and when I looked in the catalog, they were $1.54 a pair. I think that was a $19.99 price book, and I just thought, oh my goodness, the cost of nuts and bolts. I was getting into the bushings. These are some heavy-duty sway-away spring plates. They're a 1/16 of an inch thicker than the stock spring plates. Here's one right here. Little more bits of steel and boxes of nuts and bolts, and it's like the SAE is mixed in with the metric. So I don't know if you can see it in the camera here. This is a little bit thinner, a little bit more flexible, and there was a broken one on the sand car, so I used one of those to get that. And the sand car's running and in great shape, and I just haven't gotten it out the last 2 years. I've trailered it all the way to the local sand dunes twice, and for one reason or another I wasn't able to stay, and I had to leave before I even got the thing unloaded. And I've tried to take the tow buggy out there, and I had problems with wheels, and you know, it's just different now that I'm doing it all alone. And so I'm gonna freshen up my transmission skills. Haven't done any of that in a couple of decades to any serious degree. So yeah, it's gonna be a journey, and I hope you can come along with me. And to all my subscribers, if you're watching it and you're watching it this long, you're probably an old sub, and I sure appreciate all the love and support that you guys have been giving me, and encouragement. I got a girlfriend now. That's a long story on itself. After I had my heart surgery, I met this gal at the vitamin department at one of the local stores, and we just sort of hit it off, and we've just been having a ball. I've spent over 20 days camping in the mountains, and it was just, I'm living life large as well as I possibly can. Every day just is flying by, and I'm just so thankful to be alive. And I don't know that I'll get the channel back up to where it was, but you know, I don't know, with a few words of encouragement and some views, you know, that may happen. So if you guys can help out on that, I'm not begging, but I mean, I'm gonna get this done with you or without you. I just thought I'd bring you along, and it's a lot more work to stop and get the camera out and set things up. And then I don't know if I had a stroke. It seems like I have trouble with my speech. I definitely have trouble with finding the right words for what I'm trying to say, and you know, no biggie. That's just the way it is. So yeah, I thought I'd post something up and just let you guys know I'm okay and what's going on. And I want to make this into a short back. I don't want one of these long. I want this to be like an ultralight, maybe just something to, I don't care if I don't get to the sand dunes in it, you know. I'm going to build my dream car with whatever parts I have and tools I have. I'm going to build this car the way I want it, and hopefully I'll be able to get it up to some sand and try it out, and that may be the end of it. But I hate to just give this stuff away and throw it away and have it, you know, cluttering up somebody else's garage because it's priced right or something like that. So I thought I'd just, to me, it's a lot easier if I get something finished and it turns out halfway nice and somebody happens to like it. Maybe they'd want to buy it, but nobody nobody's gonna want all these buckets of rusty old parts that don't work. And I mean, some people do. You know, make a nice project for somebody, a nice winter project, but it's not. You know, I spent. Let me explain something. I spent $8,500 in storage fees for this stuff when I first moved here into this house. This is a shock absorber extender so that you don't have to run the stock shock in the stock position. This is just the bumper and the bumper stop. A lot of guys cut those off trying to get more travel, but you just ruin your swing axle transmissions by trying to do that. And I could do an IRS, but for off-roading and banging, they're a little bit, you know, you need to start going with, guys just get carried away. They put the extended trailing arms, 930 CV joints, and, you know, long travel shocks, and I can't afford to do that anymore. And even if I could, where am I going to go and use that kind of stuff for me, you know? So I'll have two of these. One's going to be dirt, one's going to be sort of sand, and we'll just see how it goes from there. All right? Maybe I'll have some subscribers stop by, and we'll go up to the local sand dunes and make a few videos and have some fun. So, all right. The sun is going down. The sun is setting over there. My lake, not my lake, the lake I live near is just very calm like glass, and it's a beautiful November day. So I'm gonna get my tube bender. I have a electrician's tube bender, and I'm gonna see if I can bend up a piece of pipe or two, and I gotta refresh myself on how to do that. It is hydraulic, so that'll help. And I did it once before with this same bender. It's just been sitting in the back of the garage. Maybe when I get done with this project, I'll sell it. So never know, if you're into fabricating and wanting to make stuff, might be something. All right. A long video about nothing. I gotta get all this sheet metal from the old pan cut off. I gotta get the front of these frame horns welded up. All I have is my old flux core welder. I hate that thing. There's so many easier ways of doing it now. But, you know, I thought about buying a machine, and then when I'm done selling it, you know, get a gas TIG. I did do a little TIG welding in the past. We'll just have to see. Eyesight, all those things they never were that great, but they're worse now. So there you go. Enough whining. Take care. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. TheEZGZ out.